Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now we're back again with another Alliance War. Now I believe this was Alliance War 7. I could be mistaken. I'm kind of like mixing them up. This is definitely somewhere in the middle of season 21. So ASR is facing off against For Loki. Obviously, I'm sure most of you have heard about For Loki. Many big content creators are grouped together in that alliance, and also last season they came in third place overall in Masters bracket. We came in second. However, they did beat us at end of the season, so this seemed to be a prime time to get some revenge points in there. All right, so I have joined the war with Mr. Fantastic, Human Torch, and Doctor Doom. And Mr. Fantastic is there largely only for synergy and to drop in the pre-fight ability for the boss fight to make it easier for somebody else. And then all of the fights are going to be done by Doctor Doom and Human Torch. The first fight here in lane 1, section 1, is Vigorous Assault and Arc Overload. So basically, whenever Tigra has active regeneration buff, she is unblockable, but Doctor Doom can quite obviously deal with regeneration buffs and Tigress and power control and everything else. And it's a fairly simple fight, not overly tricky placement or anything like that. Now I will make a couple of mistakes in this war which are actually gonna get me absolutely frustrated, but we're not quite there yet. So first, just a little 10k medium crit to finish off this fight over here, and then we're gonna be going up against the Symbiote Supreme. And Symbiote Supreme, for most part, he really isn't the most intimidating opponent. Just need to avoid getting a bunch of buffs on yourself, and that should be pretty much it. I'm gonna use Human Torch for this fight, even though I suspect that Dr. Doom would have done just as fine, if not better. But obviously Symbiote Supreme is a Mystic champion, so Human Torch will have access to a lot of damage. Also will be able to mitigate that Masochism heal or even reverse it from time to times. And yeah, very simple fight. You can see that I have 5 smolders already. Every smolder that I gain, I just do more and more incinerate damage, and I purposely take quite a bunch of hits on block just to get more smolders, just to deal more damage. Now at this point I enter Nova Flames and drop my level 2, which stun gets shrugged off by Masochism, but the fight is pretty much over there. I'm gonna finish it off with a level 1, and yeah, the fight is over. Very quick, very simple fight for Human Torch. And there I was scheduled to take that Black Widow Clairvoyant, but somebody snuck in there and took the fight for me. And now this is day 2 already, and this is the following morning, my first fights. And this fight is actually the fight where something is going to go sideways extremely quickly. On paper, there aren't even any kind of like specific nodes that would hinder me, and really this isn't, in my opinion, the hardest matchup at all. I'm just gonna end up playing quite bad. So taking that level 1 on block obviously is quite perfect because I do get a lot of smolders. However, I did get parry stun there, which was extremely unfortunate. And then at that point, still I was in no real danger, taking in another level 1 in a block. This time I'm being more careful, don't go in straight away. I have 22 smolders and I'm doing a whole ton of damage, and we can see that he's absolutely melting away. But at this point, I ill-fatedly decided that I should be able to finish out this fight. He is in Assassin's range. I have some medium boosts active, a class advantage. I should be able to finish him off with my level 3. Unfortunately, I wasn't right. And as soon as my level 3 finished, he dropped his level 3, and that will be enough to kill me. So this is one of the silliest deaths where I really didn't have to drop my level 3. I got too impatient or too whatever, and really just quite an embarrassing death. Luckily, it didn't play any role whatsoever in the outcome of the war. We did have a relatively sizable lead at this point already, but this is just another one of those circumstances where if a multitude of there was a multitude of things I could have done in order not to die there. Obviously, the first and most important one was not to throw my level 3. Second one is I could have used the 3-minute boost for Indestructible 3, and that would have significantly improved my chances of surviving because I would be higher up on the health department. Or I could have simply boosted higher, in which case that fight would have had already been over by that point. Or even if I just boosted more with health boosts, I would have likely survived that level 3. But I did none of those, so I suffered the consequences. And quite embarrassingly, I gave away my second death of the season, which is super annoying because both of them are really not the kind of like hardest fights. Well, but can't get super upset myself. Well, to be honest, like even now as I'm recording this video days later, I'm still really pissed off about that death, but you can't let it hang over you. So next fight is up against Aegon. It's a very simple fight, not much to kind of like get concerned over there for. Aegon obviously gets all of those fury buffs, which can feed Dr. Doom's Mystic Dispersion and all of the other stuff extremely well. So it's a very quick, very simple fight for Dr. Doom. Now I'm going to move on to the mini bosses. I'm going to be taking this Hulkbuster first, and I'm going to be taking both of the mini bosses, in fact, with Dr. Doom. Now that Hulkbuster wasn't really assigned for me. Again, another thing that I probably shouldn't have done. I should have stuck to the assignment, but A, I was pissed off, and B, I was confident that I can easily deal with this Hulkbuster using Dr. Doom, because obviously Dr. Doom is shock immune, so I don't have to worry about getting shocked. In addition to all of that, Dr. Doom has a plethora of nullification abilities that should quite easily be able to handle Rage Node and everything else that I could get thrown at me. And for most part, that is extremely right. The only kind of like scary thing, if you so want to put it, is whenever I nullify his buffs, is he gains a whole chunk of power, and he also gets into like 2 bars of power quite frequently. So that is kind of scary because even though you can block the beams, all of his special attacks initially, at least at the very first phase, are unblockable. So that can potentially catch you, and there might be quite significant consequences. But if you play carefully, just keep your block up for most part, so he isn't inclined to throw that level 2, and I can go in, drop my combo, and drop my own level 3s. Then that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Also, Dr. Doom obviously is like an extremely huge beast, and I'm getting to my level 3s extremely quickly thanks to the Rage Node, thanks to his armor buffs, thanks to his unblockable buffs expiring or whatever else he has. And we can see him going down extremely quickly, considering the Rage Node and the fact that all the damage is capped at 2.5%. And that also means my level 3 damage, because otherwise this level 3 alone would probably close to finish out the fight, as I was with 2 fury buffs already. But the damage is capped at 2.5%, so the most of the damage comes from me actually just going in and landing that full hit combo afterwards and at level 1. And that is kind of like the most significant source of damage, because everything else is capped, I think, at 6.5k. So it's a very small cap there indeed. So now I think this is going to be the last level 3. We can see that the Hulkbuster is down at 17%. We're going to drop level 3. Puts him at 14%. And I'm going to go in for full combo, 10%. He's ticking down as well. I'm going to drop my level 1, 2%. And at this point, I'm just going to tap him a couple more times and the fight is over. So not the quickest fight with Dr. Doom, but definitely not the most complicated one either. And next one is going to be Nova. Now I'm not going to have like a perfect fight against Nova at all, but we're going to do well enough to clear this one. And it's quite good placement. Nova is one of those sketchy champions. Wherever I see Nova, it's not really an issue to take him down most of the time. It's because like Doom is so tanky and so good against Cosmic Champions, but it's just messy playstyle always. You pretty much end up always eating some hit or getting auto-blocked or something happens. Because there are a lot of things to keep in mind when he goes unblockable, when he can auto-block, when his auto-blocks can trigger parry, when they don't. And for most part, I don't know. For as long as Noah has been in contest, I have never really taken him serious, and I have never really been, I don't know, bothered learning exactly how to play against him. I know some basics, but I'd say that's good enough, I guess. And yeah, so this will be the last fight for me in this war. As I mentioned before, we did win the war. It's still huge shout out to all of the 4Loki guys. I'm sure there's going to be a whole bunch of Alliance War videos uploaded from their side. But neither one of our alliances is having the best season. We're somewhere in the middle of Masters bracket. We have had definitely a lot of hard matchups, and we haven't had like the greatest season. As far as I know, the same case applies for 4Loki. So it's more than likely that our alliance and 4Loki both will simply just end up being somewhere in the middle of Masters bracket. But hey, you know, can't win them all. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, then hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit all the buttons, and drop a comment. And I am going to catch you guys soon. See ya.